Hello students, welcome back to the class. So in the previous video, as you remember, we were discussing the concepts related to the periodic table. So hope you have a picturization of periodic table now, and what I expect is whenever you study the concept related to periodic table, better have a periodic table in front of you so that you will get the concepts in a better way, right? So let's move on with the concept that we had discussed earlier. Just a brief brush up on the concepts which we had discussed. You know that a periodic table has groups and periods, isn't it? The horizontal rows are called as periods, the vertical columns are called as groups. 18 groups, 7 periods in the periodic table, and we have classified them into S, P, D and F block elements. And you know the different properties or the main points under S, P, D and F block elements. Hope I have even mentioned you that D block elements are also called as transition elements and F block elements are called as inner transition elements. And after uranium, the elements are called as trans uranium elements. Yes, and after this we had studied some general properties of how the elements are classified. We have studied about metals, non-metals, metalloids. Generally we know what are metals, what are the properties of non-metals, and what are metalloids. Metalloids lie in between that of metals and non-metals, which can show the property of metals as well as non-metal. They can either conduct or they may act as insulator also. That's the point. Okay, we were discussing about atomic radius. In atomic radius, so plural is radii. So generally I'll tell atomic radii, or even we can call it as atomic size also. If they ask you something related to atomic size or related to atomic radii, both concepts are one and the same. In atomic radii, I was discussing about, what is atomic radii now. It's just, in a simpler words, radius of atom. So we can call it as covalent radii or metallic radii, that is covalent radius, metallic radius. Altogether, in simpler words, we say atomic radii. Clear? So I was speaking about the trends of how it varies across the period and down the group. Very important point. As I had mentioned that you will have to know this better if you have to understand the further concepts. So do understand, okay? I had told you that I'll just mention one particular period. So you know the elements arranged in horizontal rows, that is period we say. So when I say across the period, it means this way. When I say down the group, it means down this vertical column. Clear? So this is down the group, this is across the period. Across the period, and this is down the group. Hope there is no confusion. Yes. So I had told you that I had given you a simple picturization so that you will remember it in a better way, that across the period what happens to the size of atom? The size of atom goes on decreasing. Yes, I had told you that the first one will be having larger size, whereas as you move across the period, the size seems to go on decreasing. In fact, it won't be this way, like the size being so small or being this way. I'm just giving you a picturization of it. All right. Across the period, what happens to the atomic size? Atomic size of the elements in the periodic table goes on decreasing. I'll tell you the reason why. And let us remember that down the group, the atomic size always goes on increasing. The size becomes larger and larger down the group. So now let me tell you the reason. You have studied about atomic models, all those, isn't it? So see, we have a picturization of an atom like an atom having the central nucleus, isn't it? Having the central nucleus. So you know that nucleus is positively charged. All positive charges are concentrated at the center, so it is positively charged. So what else do you have in the atom? You have orbits, that is a circular path the electrons are seen to be moving. The electrons are which charged? It is negatively charged. Are you getting the point? So the electrons that are moving in circular path will be negatively charged. Whereas what is the property of nucleus? Nucleus is positive. Now you have a picturization, because when I'm explaining this concept, you need to really imagine of how it is. Only then you can get it in a better way. So, see, this is positively charged, isn't it? What happens if one is positive, the other one is negative? They attract. Yes, if both were negative, they repel. That means if you bring two electrons closer, both are negatively charged, they push each other. They don't get attracted. Whereas if you bring one electron closer to a nucleus, if one is nucleus, the other one is electron, then they attract. Why? One is positively charged, the other one is negatively charged. Clear now? Okay. So why, as we go across the period, the size goes on decreasing? For example, see in the periodic table, just open the periodic table and check out. You see sodium here. Then you see beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, isn't it? You see that. Next, fluorine. So when you observe all these, you know, the size goes on decreasing. Sodium will have a larger size, then beryllium little bit smaller, boron smaller, carbon still smaller, nitrogen smaller, oxygen smaller, fluorine still smaller. Why is this? Why is this? That you see. The reason is, across the period, the electrons are added to the same shell. Getting the point? To the same shell, the electrons are added. Open the periodic table, write the electronic configuration, and check out. Okay, for example, you see sodium 11, isn't it? How do you write the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Yeah. Next, say magnesium. Okay, magnesium is 12. Yeah. Here 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Now you see, sodium is 11, magnesium is 12. See, 3s, 3s. Where the electron is getting added? The electron gets added to the same shell. I'm just giving you an example. So if you observe the electronic configurations, you will get to know that the outermost shell is same. It is like this. Okay. See, this is an atom now. Say this one particular atom, it had one electron. For example, okay, the electron gets pulled by the nucleus. It gets attracted by the nucleus. Now, next element will have one electron extra, isn't it? See, magnesium has one electron extra. Where does it get added? It gets added to the same shell. See, 3s. Now, say here. Now, what has happened? One electron already it was attracted by the nucleus. The other electron also was getting attracted by the nucleus. Now, from both the sides, the nucleus is pulling. When it pulls from both the sides, just imagine the size shrinks. Yes, that is why the size seems to decrease across the period. Why? The reason that you must tell is because the nucleus pulls the outermost electron and electrons are added to the same shell or same subshell also you can call. Electrons are added to the same shell, because of which the size of atom decreases. This must be your reason. Hope it is clear. What point you will be mentioning? Across the period, I mean to say here this way. Across the period, electrons are added to the same shell. Therefore, what happens? What is this? Z effective means effective nuclear charge. You remember what is effective nuclear charge? Effective nuclear charge is how much the pull of nucleus, the outermost electron can experience. That is called as effective nuclear charge. How effectively the nucleus can pull the outer electron. Simpler words. So, what happens? Electrons are added to the same shell. So, effective nuclear charge increases, and hence the size of atom decreases. Understood? This was for one I have told that in the beginning, say one electron was there, it was pulled by the nucleus. Then when you move on to the next one electron extra is present there. For example, if it is 11, atomic number will be 12, 13, 14, 15, like that. Say now sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, like that it goes if you start from sodium. Okay. So in that case, now magnesium means one electron extra. If you go for aluminium, then again one more electron will be added. Now you imagine, see, nucleus is at the center, one electron was added, it pulled it. So size almost it was shrinked to some extent. Now one more electron was added, it is pulling both the electrons towards it. So the size of atom shrinks. One more electron is added, again it pulls from all the three directions, again the size goes on decreasing. Clear? Hope I might be giving you too much of explanation on this, but I just want you to be clear with the concept, that's it. Okay, across the period, what happens? Size of atom decreases, very important point. Now let me explain you down the group. Now down the group, why the atomic size increases? Why the atomic size increases is because here extra shells are added. For example, if here it is 3s is the outer shell, here it will be 4s, here 5s, 6s, 7s, like that. Say if you start from alkali metals, sodium, then potassium, rubidium, cesium, extra shells are added. Here what had happened? The electrons were getting added to the same shell. But down the group, extra shells are added. Now if this was the first one, then down the group means already it had one shell, outer shell, isn't it? I don't mean to say that it will be having only one shell. I'm just mentioning the outermost shell. Okay? It had one shell. So for sodium, electron was added here. When you move on to the next one, potassium here what happens? 19. One more shell will be added. Now where the electron goes? That electron goes to that extra shell which has been added. So what you will tell? Now what happens? Will the size increase or decrease? Extra shell has been added, isn't it? So nucleus, see, nucleus was there, one shell was there for sodium. Now extra shell has been added, so the size goes on increasing. Why? The nucleus doesn't pull the outermost electron more effectively. Effective nuclear charge decreases. Got the point? So how you have to explain? Down the group, here down the group, for that you will be writing the explanation. Electrons, because sometimes they can ask you reason of why atomic size increases down the group, why it decreases across the period, all those. Here you have to say, down the group, electrons, okay, you will say, extra shells are added, and hence electrons enter those shells. So what happens to effective nuclear charge? Effective nuclear charge decreases, and therefore the size of atom seems expanding, and or hence the size of the atom increases. This is what you will be giving the reason. Hope it is clear now. No doubt in this. So remember, across the period size goes on decreasing, down the group size goes on increasing. That's clear. Now let's move on to the next concept. Just get it clarified. Go through it again. Okay. Now this was about atomic radii. Now when we study atomic radii, one more concept comes. Here we are studying the periodic trends of physical properties now. One more is ionic radius. What do you mean by ions? Ionic. Ions means which has positive and negative charges. Positively and negatively charged species are called as ions. Yes. So, positively charged ions are called what? They are called as, positively charged ions are called as cations. Hope I had told you that we were taught this way, that cations means cat. This doesn't seem like a cat, however. Okay, imagine cat. Okay, here plus plus. So cation means having positive charge. Anion means, again this doesn't seem like an ant, but still the antenna of ant. So cat means positive charge. Ant, so an ion means having negatively charged species or having negative charge. This is how we were taught. So if you can remember this way, the ones who find it very difficult to remember can remember. So positively charged ions are called as cations. Negatively charged ions are called as anions. Anions. Now you know about this. Now when do you get a cation? When do you get an anion? Now we have a picture of atom. Atom means all positive charge at the center and electrons surrounding them. When do you get cation? When do you get a positively charged ion? For example, say we got Na plus. Is it a cation or anion? It's a cation, yes? How do you get a cation? If you add an electron, you get cation, or if you remove an electron, you get cation. If you remove an electron, you get cation. So again, in a simpler ways to understand, I just explain this way again. Say in the atom, this is not the shape of atom. Say in an atom, if you have all positive charges, then a neutral atom, when we say, all the positive charges are balanced by negative charges. Clear? All positive charges will be balanced by negative charges. So, if suppose you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 positive charge, then 5 negative charges will be there. Now you see, if suppose I remove one negative charge, what happens? One positive charge is extra now, right? See, I have removed one negative charge. That means one charge is extra, positive charge. That extra charges we represent it this way. Now Na plus means, it means that there is one positive charge extra in it. So again, I need not explain you of how do you get a positive charge, how do you get a negative charge. Negative charge means related to electron, positive charge say proton, positively charged. So no doubt in that. So what does this say? It says that it has one electron less now. Because it has lost one electron, one has become extra. Next one say Ca, calcium ion, we write it as Ca2 plus. What does that tell you? It is telling you that from the neutral atom, 2 electrons were removed, 2 negative charges were removed. So what has happened? 2 positive charges are extra. That is what it means. Clear? Okay. Now if we write F minus, this is an anion now, negatively charged species, anion. So what does that mean? It means that earlier all the charges were balanced, but now one electron has been added. If you add one electron, negative charge you are adding, so one charge becomes extra here, that we mention like this. If I write O2 minus, what does that mean? That means there are two extra electrons. So two extra negative charges it has, two extra electrons it is having. This is what it means. So you have idea of what is cation, what is anion. So you need to know again that when do you get a cation? Cations are formed, just make a note. Cations are formed by the removal of electrons. One electron or more electron. Anions are formed. Anions are formed by the addition of electrons, or than mentioning addition, a standard term, gaining of electrons also you can use. Gaining means getting, or say accepting. Clear? Anions are formed by the addition of electrons. Cations are formed by the removal of electrons. Hope this concept is clear now. Now let me explain further related to this. I need to tell you that these cations, positively charged species, say for example Na plus, Ca2 plus, Al3 plus, all these are all cations, isn't it? These cations will have size. Now you imagine, will they have size larger or less than the parent? Now say, what is the parent of Na plus? Parent of Na plus is Na. What is the parent atom of C? Now you don't call it as atom, you call it a sodium ion, calcium ion, aluminium ion. Which is their parent atom? Parent atom of Na plus is Na, Ca2 plus is Ca, that is calcium, Al3 plus parent is Al. Now you imagine sodium had equal number of protons and electrons. Now it has lost one electron, so one charge has become extra, positive charge. Whether the size increases or decreases, now you will have to tell me. Now what has happened, like this. Sodium, this is nucleus. It had many electrons. Say, let me tell you about the outer electrons. Say, if suppose this is the case. Actually, this is not again the outermost shell. In sodium, you will have only one electron in the outermost shell. This way. Now what happens, if it loses one electron is removed. So what happens? Nucleus, how it is? It is at the center, isn't it? It pulls all the electrons towards itself. So somehow, if the electron is removed by application of energy or anything, an electron is removed, what does nucleus do now? It will have other electrons, isn't it? In the inner shell. It will start pulling them too much, more. Now you imagine in a classroom, if there are 100 students, and in a classroom, if there are 5 students, whom the teacher will concentrate more? The teacher will concentrate more on the class where there is less number of students. It's obvious, isn't it? Same way, now if one electron is removed, then the other electrons will be pulled closer. So what happens to the size of the atom? Size decreases. So always cations, because it has lost one electron, so nuclear charge will be, that is effective nuclear charge will be high. So the size goes on decreasing. Hope it is clear. No confusion. Therefore, you will make a point that size of cations will always be smaller than its parent atom. Size of the cation will always be smaller than its parent atom. Same way. Now this was about cation I am speaking. Now let us consider anion. Okay, anion means say F minus, O2 minus, there are many, Cl minus, Br minus. In these cases, you see one negative charge is extra, it means one extra electron, two extra electron, one extra electron. In this case, what has happened? Already there was nucleus, there were electrons, but again there were already it had electrons. Along with that, one electron has been added extra. If one electron has been added extra, what happens? Now the nucleus has to concentrate on the extra electron also. So the other electrons will feel little bit less pull, nuclear pull. You understand now? Okay, so imagine the example that I had mentioned of a teacher teaching 5 students and 100 students, whom she or he can concentrate more. So now what has happened? Extra electron is added. So extra electron is added means nuclear pulse gradually starts decreasing. So the size increases. So size of anion will always be larger than its parent atom. You will have to remember these points. See, when I mention anion, here you have to mention parent atom. Okay? Hope it is clear, and you can note down the reasons also why the size of cation will be smaller than its parent atom. You will have to say because electron is removed from the atom and hence effective nuclear charge increases, because of which size decreases. Here what will you mention? Extra electrons are added, because of which the effective nuclear charge, you can say it gets distributed, or effective nuclear charge on every electron, that is outermost electron, I mean to say outermost electron. See, it's a large class. The outermost electron the nucleus has to pull. So it doesn't, you know about shielding effect, isn't it? Shielding effect means inner electrons will act as screen. So the outer electron will experience less nuclear pull. That can be your reason for this. Hope I have not mentioned this on the board. I mean, I haven't written, but you can just make a note of it. The reason, okay, important. So hope this concept is clear of cation and anion. So let us see about the next concept. Before that, you will have to know the concept of cation and anion better.